Hello and welcome to How to Sell Your Book Quickly, Making More Money with Less Hassle and Fewer Headaches. And today I'm with the fantastic Dominic Hodgson, who is the author of the new book, How to Be Your Dog's Superhero, a complete guide to making your best friend a buddy for life, or words to that effect. Hello, Dom.
Hello, Bill. How are you doing? Thanks for having me on.
No problems, no problems. Just go through a few things before we start, Dom, if that's okay, just our usual stuff. Welcome to the EPA, the Elite Publishing Academy, and as I always say to people, nothing positions you as an expert in your field quite like becoming a published author. I won't read the rest, but as we all know, it does capturing your expertise in a book form simply adds credibility, authority to yourself, and will lead on to other things such as lead generation that we go through with Dom at this moment in time. And as I always say, at the Elite Publishing Academy, we've now published well in excess of 1,000 titles, printed near on 2 million books now, not quite 2 million, but 1.9 million something books. And hopefully, as Don will testify, not just because of me, far from it, we're part of the little process, but it's generated millions of pounds for all of our customers that we work with. So Dom and I want to share the process with you today and hopefully make you a success, just like Dom's book has made his. What we're going to go through today is we're going to slightly go through the writing process. Isn't really what we're here to talk about today. It's more about what the book does for you as a proposition to your clients. But we're going to roughly go through Dom's writing process, almost called you Tom there. Using your book as a #1 lead magnet, how to attract and start to interact with existing clients or brand new prospects to sell on other services using your book, and other aspects that it definitely leads on to, which is training courses, webinars, seminars, mastermind groups, and literally a shopping cart of other stuff. So you name it, the book will start the process. So as I say, this is Dom and his wonderful book, How to Be Your Dog's Superhero. So less of me, more about Dom. Dom, if you can explain to our listeners a little bit about yourself and what you do, and away you go.
Right. Well, thanks again for having me on, Bill. I really appreciate it, and I'm very happy to come on and talk about the book process, because it's been a really interesting sort of 6 months for me doing this. So, and I would highly recommend it to anybody who wants to grow their business. I'm a dog trainer and a dog from Sunderland in the northeast of England. I started this business about 4.5 years ago when I previously worked as a sales rep for Imperial Tobacco, and I was enjoying that job. It was good. It was well paid and everything. Company car, bonuses. I'm struggling to think why I left now, actually, now that I'm describing it to you. But I just didn't really want to do it for another 30 years, and I fancied a change. And my interests at the time were dogs. I'd been helping out with a local rescue, walking the dogs there, and I took an interest in dog training with my own dogs. And I knew I wanted to do something that was outdoors. So I started a business, basically, Pack Leader Dog Adventures, which is a dog adventure business where we take the dogs out and we exercise them, and then you take them home again and they sleep until the owners get home from work. But I quickly realized when I started this business that I actually didn't really know very much about dogs. So I had to kind of embark on a bit of a doggy education and learned from some of the world's leading dog trainers, spent a lot of money attending courses, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And
kind of consider myself a dog trainer now, as well as a dog, adventurer. That's led on to me doing some online dog training programs, and I have other things in the pipeline as well at the moment coming up. But the main thing that I've been working on really for the last kind of 6 months has been the book, which launched, I think it was just over a month ago now.
Yeah, and well, you'll hopefully tell us at the end of the session how well that's going. So, how long have you been doing working in your own business now, Dom?
5 years coming up.
5 years. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So I hear this story all the time, and that story's kind of mine. Had a great job, etc. Same as you, company cars, all the stuff that goes with it. But something inside you just tells you this isn't just it. I want a little bit more to it. So yeah. You went from one. I mean, I was kind of in the industry anyway, but you kind of went from one extreme to the other by the sounds of it, with the dog side of things. So, is that been part of yourself, as it were, for when you were a kid growing up, or the dog side of things?
What you mean, dogs? Or?
Yeah. Has it always been a passion?
No, not really.
No.
Not particularly. No, we never really had a dog. We never had a dog as a kid growing up. The only experience I had of dogs was running away from them on my paper round when I was a kid. Um, and my wife's always had dogs in her when she was growing up in her family,
Yeah.
but we so we got together about 20 years ago, got a dog like the next week kind of thing, and proceeded to make all of the mistakes that's possible to make with that dog,
Yeah.
which I then spent the next 10 years kind of trying to put right. And then, like I said, it just kind of grew, just like a passion that kind of grew, really.
Okay.
And I thought the dog walking business, the dog adventure business, would be a great way for me to kind of combine two things that I was interested in, which was being outdoors essentially and not working with people,
Yeah.
or specifically working with dogs, I should say, really.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And so obviously you've been working the business for 5 years now. It's been successful, and obviously you wanted to grow the business, generate leads, etc.
Mm.
So the idea of, and be truthful with me here, of writing the book, um, did that fill you with a bit of dread, fear? I mean, how are you with writing
Oh yeah,
anyway? You know?
no, absolutely, it did. Yeah, I had started writing. I've started writing emails about maybe 18 months ago,
Yeah.
and building a list that way. Um, so I was, and as you know yourself, it does take a while to get into it, doesn't it? The whole
Yeah.
kind of writing thing when
Oh,
you've never really done it, probably since you were at school, really, in my case,
yeah.
and certainly, creative writing, which I suppose, emails and writing copy and stuff is. Um, but so I'd been doing that, but this idea of a book came from a mutual friend of ours, John McCulloch,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he was kind of pushing on me the idea of and the power of writing your own book and what it could do.
100%.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and like I said, I had done a couple of online dog training programs last year which went down really well, but I had found the whole launching a program and stuff. I'd found that process quite stressful, and I thought there might be a better way to do it. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now is a kind of an inner circle for pet dog owners, where they
Yeah.
can learn more
Yeah.
in an interactive way. But the book, I wanted to do that first, obviously, to position me as an expert, and it's just a great thing for people to buy, an inexpensive thing in a way for people to buy, isn't it?
Yeah,
To
as
get a
I always
taste of
say,
what I'm about.
it is. As I put it, as it's now the new foot in the door.
Absolutely.
You're giving people hopefully good quality content about information they are really interested in. For start, it's not just like a book now, as people who listen to this all the time will say, but it is the new sales brochure. But it's more important than that because it's of relevant information. It's more up to date. It's about now. You can write several books if you want, if you're a prolific writer. But if you use a book in the right way, similar to what you're doing at the moment, it really does kind of put your foot in the door. It's an inexpensive lead generator, and we'll talk about that later on. But from yourself, when you said when you first started to write, when did you kind of well, I suppose it's not really literally putting pen to paper, but when did you start typing up the
Yeah,
book?
no, I think it was probably. It might have been almost about a year ago, possibly.
Yeah,
Maybe last September, October was when I first started. I kind of convinced myself that, right, this is it. This is what I need to be concentrating on next in my business. This is the thing that I need to do that's going to hopefully kind of set me up for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
yeah. And so if you can break it
Um,
down for everybody, then so everybody has different, and this isn't a case of an ABC for people to follow, but it's good to get in the mindset of people that have written books and people who are successful at, if you like, publishing their book and marketing it. Your process of writing, how did that work? Did you, like you said, you had some emails and some content anyway? Did you go through that and kind of break that down so you already had 15, 20 pages to start with, or did you just kind of start from scratch?
yeah, I just kind of started from scratch. Well, what I had was, actually, no, I didn't. Because I'd done an online dog training program, I did a program called the Dastardly Dog Transformation Program,
Yeah,
which was delivered over a series of webinars and training videos that I had uploaded on my membership site.
yeah,
So what I did was I kind of took that as like a bit of a template, really, and then I kind of and then I also took sort of key emails that I'd sent that I knew I had lots of responses from, where people, it's it's great to help people, isn't it? You know, if people are reading a free email and then emailing you back saying, "Wow, I tried this today with my dog and it was fantastic," you think, "Oh well, okay, I need to be seeing more of that," you know. So it was kind of a combination of those two things, and then just my general, I don't know, my general kind of philosophy on dogs. I suppose everything what I'd learned from, like I say, all the best dog trainers that I know, and I'd put into practice on my own. I kind of tried to just distill it into this book.
So, so you started, if we said roughly September last year.
So I didn't really start actually. I think it was, I messed about really for, as you do. I kind of wrote.
Most people just
I wrote a sort of half a chapter and then left it. Absolutely.
I'll put that to one side.
Probably January, really.
So okay, so January to roundabout, we started doing the proofing process probably start of July, was it? I can't remember now, or end of June, wasn't it? So it's about a 6-month process, roughly.
Yeah, but I think you could probably do it quicker, Bill. What I've done is as well at the same time as this, I've also been building stuff and creating stuff for my membership site, which is, like I say, going to be launching it within the next couple of weeks. So that's been going alongside it. If it was just a book, I probably would have done it. I would say slightly quicker, you know. But so I think probably why it took me a bit longer.
And Dom also, I think, participated in Vicky Fraser's published in 90 days writing course.
That was the thing that got me going. I was messing around from September to January. Vicky brought this course out. I was on her email list. I liked her, I liked what she had to say, and I knew that you had connections with Vicky as well. So I kind of bought the package from you, and then Vicky was the thing that kind of really got me,
got you moving,
really focused on it. You know, got me over the line. I think, got me moving. Yeah,
absolutely. And so it roughly took 6 months, give or take a few shakes, to kind of get it into a printable format, I suppose. So what I'm trying to say to people is that Rome isn't built in a day. You know, yes, you can sit there solidly, and probably, if I'm honest with you, like I say, you probably could get a book done within a month if you really wanted to. But then, as we all know, as small business owners, and well, different sides of business owners, because we deal with all sorts of people, really, stuff gets in the way. And I know that, obviously I'm going to say a book is one of your number one things you should do. But also, I'm not naive enough to say that there is other stuff in the way. Like you said, you have to get other programs ready, other marketing kind of going in the background as well. So, I would say, you have to put a time frame on it. And like you said, if you could do it again, which you might do in a year or two's time, maybe, or whatever, or do a second version or whatever it is, you now know the pros, like everything in life, isn't it? Once you've done it once, it's a lot easier second, third time round. So, from your point of view, 6 months isn't bad, really, from start to finish, and getting it selling as well.
I needed like a lot of help with the editing and stuff, Bill. I'm not particularly, which I suppose this will go in people's favour. If anybody's sitting there thinking, I couldn't write a book, I'm not particularly good at spelling and that kind of thing. So, all of the ideas and all of obviously the philosophy, it's very me when you read the book. I'd like to think people would, that I'm talking to them personally.
But you need it.
So the editing process and stuff, and the proofing probably took almost as long as the writing, I would think, really.
Yeah, well, it does. And again, this is what I'm trying to say to people is time scales wise and I'm the same. I can talk for England, no problems. Putting things on paper for me is quite hard. I've always been open and honest with that. Speaking to people face to face or via mediums such as this or Skype or whatever, easy peasy for me. Love it, no problems. But trying to put them thoughts down on paper and trying to articulate that in the right way so it sounds, as in my voice, but also professionally done, is quite hard, isn't it?
Yes.
And you know what you want to say, and I get quite frustrated with myself, when I'm writing stuff, because I know what I want to put, but it doesn't come across as, and then you kind of flip the other coin where you're not being yourself. Then you're kind of, you're trying to fit something that isn't you. It's very difficult, and like you said, you had help with that. Also regarding help as well, and I'll skip to this, but the writing process, like Dom says there, took him 6 months. There are lots of good courses out there. I will always recommend Vicky Fraser's published in 90 days because obviously I had a little bit of help in that, so I'm going to say that. But it is a really good course, and loads of people have vouched for it, and you know, that is independent from me, by the way, as well. So it's not, you know, there's nothing there for me, but it is a really good writing course, and like Dom said, that gave him the kick up the arse really to move things along and get it done. Also, you had help with the cover, and as I say,
Sure,
always get a professional cover design, because once you have that, and this is where we're going to talk more going into the marketing side of things a little bit now. It kind of gives you that focal point. As silly as it sounds, I mean, the book doesn't have to be finished either, does it? You know, get the book cover professionally done, and all of a sudden you've got something to hang your hat on. I mean, you can see by here, I mean, on the screen here of Dom's cover there, I mean, it's a striking cover, isn't it? I mean, who done that for you?
That was Julia King, Julia King Creative.
Yep.
Yep. And she did some the illustrations for the inside as well, and other stuff I've got on the bubble with her as well for my upcoming stuff. You know, like you say, it's given me something that I can hang everything else that I do really off it. Yeah. You know.
And it goes wonderfully well with what you're trying, as in who you are, your personality that you are, the type of image you're portraying to your potential clients and your existing clients, if you like, of what you do for them. You know, as it says, you know, transform your dastardly dog using the power of play, and that's kind of what you're emphasising with, you know, the Pack Leaders TV that we'll talk about later and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like I say, you know, once you have that, and and this is what I advise, and maybe you can cut in, Dom, and give me, you know, what you think. But again, if you can get this done 2-3 months in advance, so you're starting to market this, if you can. I don't know how quick you had this done in advance, but if you had that done, then you can start, you know, concentrating on pre-sales and just kind of just setting it out there on Twitter or LinkedIn or Facebook, whatever it may well be. I mean, what's your thoughts on kind of getting that ticket first?
I think so. I mean, the thing you need to do is get the bloody thing written. You know, just get it written, and then you can kind of look at it objectively and say, well, I need to add this or I need to add that, and then you do that a couple of times, don't you? Do a couple of edits over another couple of weeks, and then it's almost ready to be. Depending on how, you know, if you're a copywriter, you might need to get less help than what I had to get, but that's just by the by, really, you know. So you want to. So once that kind of process was done, that once the editing was starting and the proofreading, that's when I would be looking to start marketing it and getting the cover done and that kind of thing. And just go back a little bit as well to what you said before. John McCulloch stressed when I very first listened to him talking about the power of a book, and that was that it has to be like a work of quality, you know. It has to be. It's no good doing a shit one, is it?
No,
you know?
No.
You have to, you know, if you're going to do it, then you need to do it, you know. So I, like I say, I knew that I needed help with the editing, so I got help with the editing, and I knew I wanted it to look good. I knew I wanted it to be something that I could hang my hat off for the next 5 years, you know. So this is so that was why the investment in the cover came along and that kind of thing, you know. It is really important.
I mean, I see hundreds of thousands of books a year, and obviously we work with all, you know, we work from your trade publishers to your self-publishers, obviously, and you can always tell who's thinking of a business publisher rather than a self-publisher. There's a big difference, and you know, we'd start talking about reason why self-publishing works and all that type of stuff. There's a big difference between people who just want to self-publish it for want of a better word, vanity's sake, and there's people that are understanding the power of publishing a book to present themselves and their business, or you know, their kind of branding, if you like, is a really important thing. And I mean, this is going on to the next thing, which is the ISBN, which isn't, you know, we're not talking about ISBN numbers here. We're talking about publishing. So, you know, for yourself to be a published author, what does that A mean for you and B mean to your clients, do you think?
I think it's incredibly powerful. I think already, even just a month into the process, it's doing everything that I thought it would do, you know, that I hoped that it would do. I mean, I've got a long way to go and I've got a lot more things that I can do with it, but it's certainly given me leverage to just to position myself as an expert, you know, and the feedback that I'm getting from the book, from the people who are reading it, pet dog owners and dog trainers alike, is that, you know, it's it's something different, you know. It's something it's a book that needed to be written, kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, and just it's all positive, you know, all positive, really.
That's good stuff. So, I mean, we'll skip on now to my favourite part of the
Yep.
whole book process, really. And it's very hard, as you will probably testify as well. But, you know, the more people can treat their book, and I'm talking whether you're a multi-gazillion pound business or just a one-man band business, the more people can treat their books as a product of themselves and their business, the better they are. Because as I say, you know, the book itself, and Dom will say as well, is, I'm not saying it's the only thing, but for a lead generation side of things, for me, I see results all the time, so I know it works. But from your point of view,
Mm.
it's the old classic. There's my old chalkboard, classic PowerPoint presentation there. But you know, I'm a big, you know, leads plus prospects equals customers. I know it's simple, and I'm quite, you know, I'm stating the obvious, but to generate leads is really tough, isn't it? I mean, we're daily kind of done by Google, Facebook advertising, Twitter, whatever it may well be. That is very hard to stand out from the crowd, whether it be online or offline. You know, online becoming increasingly tougher, and it
Mm.
will be. And you've got to be smart, and you've got to do different things again that you know that Dom's doing. And I personally, isn't just to kiss your ass, Dom, but I think, you know, a lot of people can learn from what you're doing. You know, I think they can. You know, you put a lot of effort obviously into branding the business and yourself. Um, but you know, a book itself, you know, I'll always go back to the book, obviously, but it is such a powerful thing to generate interest in what you're doing. Do you agree?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And uh, yeah, I mean, it's the only thing that I'm kind of concentrating on now
Yeah,
is
lead
is the book, you know,
generation.
and
Yeah,
getting and everything's kind of, yeah, lead generation is everything's just getting people to feed into getting people to buy the book, and then hopefully to consume it and to do stuff with it, you know what I mean, and then to buy more stuff from Lee,
yeah,
obviously, as time goes on, if they liked it. This was a I'm not sure if you're going to go into this or not, Bill, in a bit, but I was able to, obviously, because I'd been building a list,
yeah,
the book was just a brilliant thing for me to sell to the list that I'd been building. You know, I managed to probably get maybe 20 or 30 people into my online dog training programs the previous year, at the end of the previous year. But with the book, I was able to pre-sell like 200 plus copies
yeah,
to my list. I probably went a little bit early, actually. With hindsight, I underestimated how long it was going to take to actually finish the whole thing off and get it all edited and stuff. So I probably went a little bit early, but they didn't mind waiting. Some people waited kind of 2 months for it to be done. This,
yeah,
but I
yeah.
probably pre-sold about 250 books, before it even came out, which kind of paid for, Vicky's
Quite a bit.
course and the publishing and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
I mean, just go through the numbers there, Dom. I mean, what did the book retail at?
So it's retailing at 19.97 now. That's the paperback copy. The Kindle version is 8.99. But I managed to pre-sell. I would say around 250 copies at 12.97, which was a special pre-sale price that I did
Yeah.
for
So
my list, and
yeah.
I opened it out onto
So
my
again,
Facebook
just
fans and
simple
stuff.
mathematics, people. So and Dom, we're going to go through the funnel that you use. I mean, I don't know exactly what the funnel you use, but I've kind of got a few little snapshots of it all. But just to
Yep.
kind of reiterate there, so Dom, with his list that we're going to talk about now, how he built it all, had roughly income coming in just from pre-sales of the book was just over £3,000. 3,000 to be precise, £3,242. But you know, for everyone listening there, that's not a bad way to generate. Again, Dom's not going to make millions of pounds from making the book outright to start with, obviously. But what he's doing there is generating, and we'll talk about this now as well, the future of pack leaders, etc. as well. The future of pack leaders and how he's going to grow that, and go into training courses, webinars, whatever it may well be. But just from that, Dom's already got 250 lukewarm, definitely lukewarm, people that are interested in him and his services, not as in dog walking, but the other stuff that he's going to lead on to. And
Mm-hmm.
like he said, it's paid for everything. So it's a no-brainer, really. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
he's had to kind of put a bit of sweat and tears into it all and stuff like that. But, the whole point of that, before it's even really gone out there in the marketplace, it's kind of paid for itself, which is magic. So talk to everyone, really. I mean, yeah, I don't know how you've done it, but you know, this is a simple kind of idea of what I've done here. Is your kind of marketing funnel? How do you get people interested in you know, Dominic Hodgson pack leaders? How does it work?
Well, I do some organic stuff, and then I have kind of paid for traffic as well, you know.
Yeah,
So I have Facebook ads on the go. Actually just yesterday, Bill started a PPC campaign. Ben Waters is handling that for me. So that's through Google, you know. So
yeah,
we're starting that yesterday. But I've mainly been through Facebook ads that I've built my initial list.
sure.
And
Let's have a
yeah,
look.
so
Yeah,
just set, like an advert on Facebook,
yeah,
sending people to a landing page to get I wrote a sort of free ebook, 24-page free ebook. This is what I did like kind of 18 months ago when I first
yeah,
started my list. So
yeah,
that's been the kind of lead magnet. Yeah, that's the one there, Bill.
yeah. That's it.
So
Yeah,
that was the lead magnet, and or the ethical bribe, whatever you want to call it,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
then that gets people onto my straight into my funnel, and then they get the
So tell
emails.
people, if you can, Dom, if that's all right. Sorry to interrupt you there, but
No, fine.
tell people how important, as I always say, this lead. So to explain again, a lead magnet isn't the holy grail or anything like that. Basically, what, as I see it, it's a free something. So a free report, a how-to guide, a free chapter of a book. So again, if the book's not written fully, but you're quite comfortable with the first chapter or something, give that away as a lead magnet, or give, it could be a product if you want, but you want to keep it simple and very, you know, very cheap and inexpensive, then give them a free guide, a free how-to, like Dom's done there. It's
Hmm.
really important because it's very hard to get people, like Dom said, you pay via Facebook advertising and stuff, which doesn't cost a lot of money, does it, Dom? Let's not kid ourselves.
No, no, not particularly.
Um,
No, you don't have to. No.
but again, if you're spending money, you want to see a bit of return on it. And in return, now we are all savvy nowadays. You know, the days are gone, in my opinion, of kind of, you know, treating the customer as a bit of a fool. You know, we're all wise to stuff. We all know that when we're giving away details now, as in our name and email address, we will probably get emailed until we, you know, tell them to sod off and unsubscribe. So, you know, I think most people now are aware of that. You know,
Yeah.
everyone's in that kind of purchasing cycle, aren't they? So your lead
Hmm.
magnet. So sorry, I kind of interrupted, but from your lead magnet there, what happens thereafter?
They just go straight into my email list, really, and
Yeah,
I email them regularly. I have a autoresponder sequence, but I also do broadcast emails as well, and sometimes, some of them get both. I could probably do with tidying that up all a little bit, to be honest with you, over the next, and with tagging and things like that. But at the moment, they get the ebook, it gets emailed to them, or they get emailed to a Dropbox link where they get the ebook, and then I just start having a conversation with them,
yeah,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times a week, really,
yeah.
through email.
Exactly, through email. So again, what Don will do is from his Facebook page, just to explain it to everybody, the lead magnet is there. They click on download. It will go to a simple. This Dom leads uses lead pages similar to what we do. If I'm honest with you, simple thing. There's what you're going to get: name and email, and then it will get automatically emailed over to the prospective client, who then get in a series of daily emails, email marketing. Isn't it? It's um, pretty simple. And again, you know, practice what you preach. I mean, some people do daily email, some people do every other day, weekly, whatever. I wouldn't go any further than
Hmm.
weekly. I mean, I don't know about you, Dom. I know that some people do dailies or whatever it is, but I think that's changing quite a bit as well at the moment. And this is something that I really want to talk to you about, because Dom does a lot of, as I call, it's not really a revolution, but a lot of people are kind of doing it, not as much as they should do. But Dom's very good with his, as I call it, the video revolution. Is Dom will kind of put up regular Facebook live posts, giving out handy hints and tips, or sometimes you're just out with the dogs, aren't you? Just showing what you're doing during the
Yeah,
day, you know. And
yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
think
Yeah.
people at home can see this, but I mean, just this one here that I kind of shot it the other day. You know, it's almost had 5,000 views
Mm.
from his kind of
And I
videos.
might
You
have
know,
boosted that as well, Bill, but I wouldn't have spent any more than sort of 5 or 6 quid on it. You know what I mean?
no,
It's not like it's had a
absolutely
massive amount of
no.
money in it.
No, far from it. And so again, if you can explain to people why you choose the power of video, if you like, and for want of that's an old word, and it sound like two old boys there, don't
Hmm.
they? The old videotape. But no, but I mean, has this really
Well,
helped?
video is
Yeah,
yeah, video is in. Video is. I wouldn't say it's the thing, because I'm a big fan of emailing and stuff as well, and I think people who just do video can get a bit carried thinking that it's the only thing that you should be doing. But it is very hip, it's very in, it's very highly ranked within Facebook and stuff. You know, a live Facebook post will have a much more, you know, it will crop up on more people's feeds as you're doing it than it will just a post or a picture. And obviously the more, you know, you want to be putting stuff out there that's entertaining and a bit of sort of soft teaching, isn't it, as well? So you're giving a little bit of information, but mainly you're entertaining, and you need to be doing it regularly as well. I'm just kind of stepping up more now. I did a lot more videos, as you like that one there, which is kind of a live video that I did. But I'm stepping up more now over the last week or so, where I'm trying to do almost a daily video, Facebook live video, and then we'll just see. You know, you have to just stick with it. It's being consistent, you know.
Like everything, isn't it? It's consistent.
Like everything, yeah. Like emails, and then you know, when people aren't ready to buy all the time, you know, they don't trust you enough when you're ready to buy. But you know, tomorrow I might mention something about cats, and it'll appeal to some people who have cats and dogs, and bosh, that'll be it. Then they'll click on the link, then they might go and download the free ebook, and then they might, you know, it's just getting them in there, and
it's just getting people interested, and I think from your point of view, like you say, you know, to build the and this is my assumption, Dom. So correct me if I'm wrong, but obviously you know, you've got a great business as it is at Pack Leaders Dog Adventures, but you know, you want to grow that by offering more services, obviously, and it's hard to do that just from your base up in Sunderland, for example. You know, you want to be, there's more to it than that, and you know, I'm going to skip, if you like, to you know what the book can become, for example. But I mean, out of these, my normal list here, how, you know, training courses, webinars, seminars, mastermind groups, continuity programs, widgets, which are other products, as I call it. And Dom does sell other widgets, which is other products on his Pack Leaders website, for example, consultations, etc. I mean, could you see you doing, if not all of these, but a vast majority of this type of stuff?
Yeah, I would say almost all of them. Yeah, basically, you know, they're all either I've done them, or I'm doing them, or will have plans to do them. Yeah, you know, I've done training courses already. I will be putting some more in, and seminars and stuff like that towards the end of the year, or you know, as the year goes on. I've done webinars. I will do more. I like webinars. I think they're really powerful and good for getting people signed up for stuff. My continuity program is starting, like I say, within the next month.
And can I just stop you there? Can I just stop you there? Because people ask this all the time, really. And again, I'm not trying to dumb it down for people, but continuity programs, just explain it to people. Obviously, you know, it just proves that anyone can do it. You know, dog training is part of it. So
I'm launching the Superhero Dog Owners Inner Circle, and that will be for people who have read the book, enjoyed the book, but they want to learn a bit more. You know, they want a bit more help. There's only so much help you can give with a book, isn't there? You know, so if some people want more interaction with you, either within maybe it's a Facebook group or a Google group or something like that, or they want more. You know, they don't just want to read it; they want to see it as well. They want to see you, you know, act out and demonstrate the training techniques that you're talking about in the book. So. And you know, there's audio training that we can do via CDs and things, so that people, just giving people lots of different ways to consume the information that they want. That's going to help them have in my case, have a better relationship with the dog. You know, but it would also work for hairdressers or painters or you know, French teachers or anything, wouldn't it? Really,
absolutely.
You know, so that's what my thing's going to be.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I mean, you know, to date, I mean, the book itself, you know. It just leads off into so many different variations of what you can do, and as I say, once people get their heads around it, a bit like what you do, you're a smart guy anyway, mate. And again, I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass, but you know, it's a case of you've recognised that fact. You already had a good business, and you realise that there's more to it than what you wanted to achieve by taking the time out and getting the book done, which is you know, I'm never going to lie to people, it's a pain in the arse. It does take time. And also. Testify this for me as well, Dom. It's never going to be perfect, is it, mate? It's never going to be spot on.
No, absolutely not. No, you do have to say it like that's it. You know, that's as good as I'm going to get it. This version of it, you know. And people don't know what you've left out anyway, do they? You know, you know, as long as you're helping people, you know, I mean, as long as you're helping people with whatever it is that you're doing, which is what I've tried to do with mine. you know your audience, you know what their problems are that they're having, and you try and address those problems in your book, and you say it in your voice in a way that makes them feel like you understand what they're going through. Then you're laughing. I think that's
Yeah,
that's what it is.
yeah, it is. And to go back at slightly now with Dom as well, just to kind of clarify a few things. Take note of what Dom said there. Say it in your own voice. Say it as you would speak. Some of this, as I can tell by as I always say, it's a Mockney accent. People will either they're going to like you or they're not going to like you. Don't cry about it when people don't. Don't cry about it when people unsubscribe from your email list. Don't cry about it when somebody doesn't want to kind of work with you. Find out the reasons why and make yourself better for next time. Obviously, there could be something glaringly obvious. I've made oodles of mistakes, oodles, and there's some stuff there that you'd love to change, but you can't. You need to learn from that and make sure that you don't do it again. Same as in the writing process. If Dom does another book or two or guides or whatever he might do in the near future or so, he'll look back at his first one and kind of, in a way, be very proud of it because it's his first one. But also, I know he'll probably think, "Oh, blimey, look what I've done there," because it's just a learning curve all the way through, like it all is. Marketing is always a learning curve. Like Dom says as well, there's so much stuff out there to get distracted with, and all of us, well, not all of us, some of us, naming me, are magpies. Next shiny things here. This is the new gadget there. This is going to generate this and that other. But it is consistency, and it is building it, isn't it? And it does take time. There's no magic wand to say, right, okay, well, your book is going to generate you this number of leads, because we don't know that. If we knew that, I'd be selling a super duper package that I'd be sitting on the beach with now. So if we knew the answer to everything, we don't. What we do know is that people like Dom and others that thankfully have kind of published their books with us all have a similar mentality, and understand the power of writing a book, getting it out there to their clients, their existing clients especially, but their prospective clients as well. So it's not all about new business either. It's about re-engaging with people. If you've kind of got a business that's selling whatever widgets of sorts, that you kind of think, oh, well, be perceived as Dom is now as an expert within his field. Like Dom says, it's kind of elevated yourself, Dom, as well, hasn't it, in your field, I suppose.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I've just the other week, even last week, I think it was. Obviously, I'm friends with a number of dog trainers and stuff all over the world as Facebook friends. Some of them I just know of, and some of them I've met personally, some of them I haven't, But one of them who I hadn't met, but obviously I'm friends with, she mentioned something about she loving how the dog world's changing, blah blah blah. And somebody commented, "Oh, which books are you talking about?" And then she mentioned mine, and then another couple of people chipped in with, "Oh yeah, I'm reading Dom's books, fantastic." "Oh, which book's this?" and stuff. And it's just, yeah. So it's and I don't know how I would have done that if I hadn't written a book.
No.
Maybe I could have done that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but I certainly
exactly.
they are perceived as it is. Whether you like it or not, a book is perceived as something that is special, isn't it? And it's it does position you very, very well.
Yeah. What other? I mean, we're going to kind of wrap it up slightly soon, but if you could give people, I'm not going to say a number of advice, so things that you think, what, if people are writing books now, or not necessarily writing it, but even trying to market it, even if it's just one or two, what type of tips would you give people?
I would say know who you're writing for. Know what it is that you want to, if you want to fix, kind of thing with your book. Who are you writing this book for? I didn't write the book for dog trainers. I wasn't trying to write that kind of book. I wrote the book specifically to help pet dog owners have more fun with their dogs.
Right.
And that sounds really simple, but that's basically what it is. That's what my book helps them to do. So you need to know what it is that you want your book to do, really. And then I think everything else, as far as the book writing goes, kind of falls into place quite nicely after that. You need to have a good understanding of your avatar and stuff, obviously, and what problems your ideal client is going through, so that you can help them with it.
Yeah.
But so that would be the main thing. Would be that. I would say get some help if you think you need some help, because without a doubt, it is the most important thing that you can do with your business. today, tomorrow and the next day, really. Or the most important thing that you could do this year would be to write your own book. If you want to grow your business in the way that Bill's talked about, and use the book that way.
Absolutely.
So you need to sit down and do it, and get, there's plenty of help out there. We mentioned Vicky's course, that's fantastic. I'm sure there's other ones out there as well, but I only know Vicky, so I can only speak of that. And then I've had you to guide me through the whole kind of, the publishing side of it, which again is sort of incredibly easy. Because I haven't really had to do anything, So and I'm just I'm essentially just a dog walker from Sunderland, really, who's thought to myself, what else can I do with this business, really, and how can I help more people and without giving up more and more of my time, so that's where I'm going with the whole thing, really.
That's fantastic. That's really good. What we do now, Dom, we're going to wrap this up, but more importantly, for people that probably don't know, actually, I'm a West Ham fan and Dom's a Sunderland fan. So Saturday, the 22nd of October, my friend, we'll have a few texts going back and forth. If you can, on the screen there, Dom, if you can just lead people to where people can find you, and finish off with that, if you can.
Yeah, sure. So we have a Facebook page. Obviously, it's if you just search for Pack Leader Dog Adventures, that'll come up in the search bar. And if you like the page, you get a lot of updates there and all the live feeds that we were talking about. I'm less active on Twitter, although all the links to my daily emails do go to Twitter as well. The website is www.mydogsuperhero.com, and there you can buy the book, you can sign up for the emails, you can check out our PLTV, which is like a 15 video series that we did, just talking about the business, talking about dogs, and try to do a video version of my daily emails, really, and that's also where my podcast, Bill, as well. We've got a podcast starting in the next few weeks, the Superhero Dog Owners Show.
Good.
So that'll be starting on iTunes. It'll also be available on the website as well.
I'll have to talk to you about that later, actually, on how to do that. But so there's plenty.
So that's another thing that's come from the book, really. Yeah,
Yeah, brilliant. So there's plenty of places there where you can find Dom and what he does, and I strongly urge you to do, whether you've got a passion for pooches or not. But even from a marketing point of view, see how he's kind of doing it. I say that you don't have to copy what people are doing, but it's always good to have a look around and see what people like Dom are doing, not just with the book, but all the other stuff that he's doing. And it really is a good kind of marketing exercise to have a look at what Dom's doing. So check him out on Facebook, not so much on Twitter, but he does do his daily feed on there, mydogsuperhero.com. And the main is it Pack, what's the main website again, the Pack Leaders one?
Well, that's the one, really. It's the My Dog Superhero one, really. That's the big,
perfect.
For the book and stuff. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, well, we'll wrap it up today. Is one of the hottest days of the year. I'm sure it's you want to get outside, my friend, and I really do appreciate your time today and the energy you brought to it, because it's really good. And I hope people, when they listen to this and look at the actual the video itself, that they get something from it. And that's all I try and do is, it's not a preach from me. It's all far from it. It's a case of listening to people that have really done it, people that are really succeeding in what they're doing, people that are really trying to do what they want to do for their business, and people like yourself really help me along as well, mate. So I really, really appreciate it, and I appreciate your time.
Not a problem, Bill. Happy to help, and happy to tell anybody who's thinking about it to start writing their book today or tomorrow at the latest.
Thanks a lot. All right. Well, okay. Until next time, everybody. I will see you soon. Look out for the next one with Kat Smith. Thank you.